What's up, YouTube? Tim is here. Well, here is my throwback segment where I talk about the films that turns 10, 20, and 30. Oh man, this is crazy to believe that these movies are literally this old. Um, Films that are celebrating its 10th anniversary. I just came back from watching The Flash, and it definitely, of course, has a connection to Man of Steel. So, of course, the film turning 10 is Man of Steel, which I think that's one reason why Warner Bros. Released The Flash this week. I mean, I don't know that 100%, but I'm thinking that's why they actually decided to release The Flash this week, because since it has Man of Steel connections and everything, you know, and Man of Steel turns the big 1-0 this week. So, yeah, but Man of Steel is terrific. I don't love it. Like, I don't think it's a masterpiece. Some people may attribute or anything like that, but I still like Man of Steel. Henry Cavill, I think, was a great Superman. Micah Shannon, who, by the way, crushes it. I might actually like Micah Shannon more in probably The Flash than I did in Man of Steel. I'm sorry. Um, Kevin Costner was great. Diane Lane. I think this movie is a terrific film. Great performances by Cavill. The first movie in the DCU and everything. It is a really magnificent film, and what it is a shame we're never going to get Man of Steel 2. But hey, at least we got Superman Legacy coming out in 2025. So yeah, at least we're getting more Superman content. Just sadly, not with Henry Cavill. But anyway, all right. Also turning 10, we also got one of my favorite comedies in recent years. This Is the End. I love this movie. I remember watching this one in theaters back in 2013. Of course, this was the end of the world comedy. Written, directed, produced by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg. It's actually a film adaptation of a short film that they did called Jay and Seth's versus the Apocalypse, and they had like James Franco, Jonah Hill, Seth Rogen, Jake Baruchel, and it stands on fictionalized versions of its cast in the wake of a global apocalypse. You also had like David Krumholtz made an appearance, Rihanna, Emma Watson, Paul Rudd, Channing Tatum, Kevin Hart, the Backstreet Boys. This movie is downright hilarious. Like, loads of fun moments. With the exorcism of Jonah Hill. Of course, the Emma Watson scenes, which, hey, if you ever want to hear, which, by the way, Emma Watson's on this list twice, by the way. But if you want to hear Hermione, like young Hermione from Harry Potter, drop the F bombs. Yeah, I remember seeing this. I was like, I never expected in a million years to hear Hermione drop F bombs. Yeah, our Hermione was all grown up in 2013. Um, but anyway, yeah, maybe one of the most hardest moments I've laughed in the movies was the scene where like James Franco ends up finding out that Danny McBride pretty much how did I put it that's not appropriate. Pretty much looked at James Franco's magazines. You guys know what scene I'm talking about. And boy, that the moment and back and forth between James Franco and Danny McBride had me going. I mean, Seth Rogen even looked like he couldn't keep a straight face with that. I mean, hey, that's why Seth Rogen is an actor and I'm not, because if I was Seth Rogen right there, I would not be able to keep a straight face. Like I would literally just be breaking character and stuff. I mean, that scene really cracks me up. But everything about this movie is great. So if you guys never, I'm not gonna lie, even though I love Man of Steel and all, I might actually prefer This Is the End over Man of Steel. It just had more better moments in my opinion. But anyway, all right. Speaking of Emma Watson, by the way, also turning 10, we got Sofia Coppola's The Bling Ring. Now, this was directed by Sofia Coppola, who gave us movies like Marie Antoinette. What stuff she gave us? Oh yeah, The Verge of Suicide. And if you guys don't know much about The Bling Ring, it's based on a crazy true story. which dealt with like a real life gang known as the Bling Ring and follows a group of fame obsessed teenagers who use the internet to track celebrities' whereabouts in order to burglarize their homes. Like they stole million stuff, like $1 million worth of clothes, $1 million worth of other stuff from the likes of Paris Hilton, Lindsay Lohan, and many others. I'm like, I remember seeing like I've actually seen a Lifetime movie that this was also based on, which I believe had Austin Butler in that, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, but this one is really good. You know, this was actually the second A24 movie I saw that year, like right behind Spring Breakers. I mean, this movie is insane. Emma Watson, like this was also the movie that really made me go, yeah, Emma Watson ain't Hermione anymore. I mean, such a really good performance by her. You had Leslie Mann. Who else was in this? Oh yeah, Thais Farmiga. This was actually my first introduction to Thais Farmiga. Of course, she would go on to star in The Nun and many other stuff. I think Thais Farmiga is always terrific. So yeah, this is if you guys never seen The Bling Ring, it does not really get much love, but it's really good. And Netflix also has a documentary about this story too. It is a crazy story. I remember actually this actually did happening. I remember hearing stuff in the news about this, but I did not expect them to ever do a feature about it, and still can't believe this whole stuff was actually true. But yeah, all right. Well, you know, I'm a horror fan, so another film that turns 10 is Hatchet 3. Of course, the third installment of the Hatchet franchise, starring my horror crush Danielle Harris, who she's just she's remarkable in anything. Come on. You had Kane Hodder coming back to play axe wielding maniac Victor Crowley. Of course, you had like Zach Galligan from Gremlins fame was in this. Uh, if you ever want to see Jason Voorhees, just kill Jason Voorhees. This is it because you guys know Kane Hodder, who plays who of course plays Victor Crowley, who he first played in 2006. Uh, he of course played Jason in some of the original Friday the 13th sequels, and Derek Mears played Jason Voorhees in the 2009 remake. So there's of course a scene where, let's just say, uh, Victor Crowley just nails him badly. Yeah, I mean that let let it be known. Victor Crowley is one of those goriest characters there is. Like this, the gore fest in these movies are just insane. And yeah, like if you think Arthur Clown from Terrifier is gruesome with his kills, you have not seen anything with Victor Crowley in it. Like Victor Crowley is. Let me just say, Jason Voorhees will look at Victor Crowley and be like, "Yeah, buddy, that's way too much." But God, I hope they do another Hatchet movie. I just get a kick out of these films. And the last one came out in 2017. I think it's time for more Victor Crowley. We need more Victor Crowley in our lives. But anyway, I mean, you know, Victor Crowley maybe isn't like an icon as, let's say, Jason, Michael Myers, but I think he is one of the most modern icons, in my opinion. So, yeah, we need more of Victor Crowley in our lives. But anyway, but only if it's played by Kane Hodder, because he just plays that role perfectly. Okay, films turning 20. Nothing to go by here. First up, we got Dumb and Dumber. When Harry met Lloyd. Now, this movie was actually a prequel to the classic Jim Carrey, Jeff Daniels comedy, Dumb and Dumber. And it stars Derek Richardson and Eric Christian Olsen. Uh, and pretty much depicts like the film's characters during their high school years. And you also had the likes of Colin Ford was in this, a very young Shia LaBeouf, Eugene Levy, Bob Saget was in this. That aside, what was it with Hollywood doing follow-up movie to movies without Jim Carrey in it? Yeah, I mean, of course, there was this. Granted, this was a prequel, so obviously you couldn't get Jim Carrey was still a tad bit too old to play high school student at the time. So obviously you can get Jim Carrey or Jeff Daniels in this. So that actually maybe this one makes a little more sense. But of course, at the time they also did stuff like Son of the Mask. Uh, there even is an Ace Ventura sequel that did not have Jim Carrey in it, which why they did that is beyond me. I did not mind Dumb and Dumber 2, by the way, which had Jim Carrey in it, but Dumb and Dumber 2 was far better than this prequel. It is just this movie just did not live up to what made the original so great. Uh, the I don't mind Derek Richardson, who is of course on the show Anger Management. I don't mind Eric Christian Olsen, who's of course on NCIS now. But what were they thinking when they did this is beyond me. Like their chemistry is not on par with with Jim Carrey or Jeff Daniels. Like why did they even make this is beyond me. But yeah, this is definitely one of the top tier. Like I love a good comedy, even unpopular comedies, but this is definitely one of the worst comedies of all time. All right, and I love Harrison Ford, but this one is terrible. Also turning 20, we got Hollywood Homicide. Now, this movie was directed by Ron Shelton, who's directed some really good stuff. He's directed Bull Durham. He did lots of Kevin Costner sport films. He also did White Man Can't Jump. And the film is based on true experiences of the film's writer, Robert Souza, who was a homicide detective in LAPD Hollywood Division and moonlight as a real estate broker in the final 10 years on the job. And the film also features a really good cast. You had Harrison Ford, Josh Hartnett, Isaiah Washington, Martin Landau, Andre Benjamin, Gladys Knight, Master P, Eric Idle, Robert Wagner. Appearances by Smokey Robinson. This is not a good film at all. I mean, early 2000s, let's just say Harrison Ford did struggle, with other stuff, which makes sense why he decided to come back to do stuff like, Indiana Jones or even Han Solo, or because some of his stuff in the early 2000s did not work out, and this was one of them. It was just like not funny. It was not all that good. It was just flat out terrible. So yeah. Anyway, also turning 20, maybe the better film on the 20-year one, and that is Rugrats Go Wild. Now, this was actually the final installment in both the Rugrats film series and the Wild Thornberry film series. It takes place like after the ninth season of Rugrats and the fifth season of the Wild Thornberries. Who, if you guys grew up with Nickelodeon, like in the 90s and early 2000s, you guys remember Rugrats and Wild Thornberries finally. And this time around, you got the Rugrats who get tangled in an exotic adventure where they're helped by the Thornberries, who's a family that travels the world making nature documentaries. I really like this film. I thought the crossover between those two was really interesting to see. Of course, early 2000s, it was pretty big with the Rugrats movies. There was like the Rugrats movie, then there was like Rugrats in Paris and all. So not bad films there. So yeah, this one was pretty cute. I mean, I remember watching the Rugrats as a kid. To be honest, I'm not really big with the new one, but the original Rugrats was great. It was really fun. It was cute, charming. I've always adored it. All right. Oh boy, this one's a big one. Films turning dirty. Welcome to Jurassic Park. One of the most iconic lines in movie history, said by the great Richard Attenborough as Dr. John Hammond. Jurassic Park, pretty much changed modern cinema. It was pretty much the film that made George Lucas go, yeah, we could do Star Wars again. And so if it was like, then of course we ended up getting the Phantom Menace and yeah, the original Jurassic Park is just, it's iconic. Of course they did like sequels and all, which except for the last one. Yeah, World Dominion was disappointing. But the other sequels I did not mind. But nothing beats the original. I mean, just the iconic music moment by John Williams. Lots of really iconic lines. Whether you're talking about, obviously the water scene where like the T Rex is coming and you see like the water cup shaking. That's so iconic. Uh, of course, the iconic line of "They'll find a way." Come on, the guy getting eaten by a dinosaur off the toilet. That's one of my favorite kills in this. I mean, hey, like Jeff Goldblum says, "You gotta go, you gotta go." I love Jeff Goldblum in this. I mean, he is. Another really fun line in this is when the Pirates of the Caribbean ride breaks down. The pirates don't eat the tourists, which, yeah, okay, that I still never understood that line because pirates don't eat people, but okay. And of course, Sam Neill was great. Laura, almost said Laura Lane. Laura Dern, Sam Jackson, Wayne Knight. Of course, Newman. Newman from Seinfeld, pretty much getting eaten by that lizard dinosaur. I can never remember the name of that lizard dinosaur, but yeah, I remember watching the original Jurassic Park as a kid. It's one of the greatest films. It's not my favorite film of all time, but it's definitely one of the greatest experiences. I mean, obviously, I was a baby one. Like, I was pretty much a newborn when this movie came out. The movie came out on the 12th. I would not turn like 1 year old until like a week after. So, yeah, but I remember, of course, seeing it on TV. I used to always love this film. It's just one of the most iconic films of all time. One of the most iconic, like the way the dinosaurs looked, I always thought was terrific. Like, I love that visual. Steven Spielberg directed this. What not to love about Jurassic Park? And I mean, whether they do more is how to wait and see. But yeah, Jurassic Park is just so iconic. And it's all right. All right. Now that's not the only film that turns dirty. We also got the Tina Turner biopic, "What's Love Got to Do?" Which of course starred Angela Bassett as the late great music icon of Tina Turner, and it does it is a upbringing to her rise of stardom, along with her abusive marriage to Ike Turner, played wonderfully by Lawrence Fishburne. What's Love to Catch Do? I thought it was a terrific biopic. Angela Bassett, of course, got nominated for an Oscar. I think she should have won that year. It's a shame that Angela Bassett did like two films where you think she'll actually win, but she ends up losing the Oscar. For this, and of course, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. It's crazy to believe that she only got nominated for this and Wakanda Forever. I mean, she should have had more Oscar nominations, but and I mean, this movie really showcased who Tina Turner was. From her rise to fame and her intense abusive relationship with Ike Turner. Seemed pretty rough. And it's just it's really sad that it's also really unfortunate that Tina Turner is no longer with us, but she lived to becoming such an icon and had a really good life. All right, now also turning 30 this week, we also got the Australian movie called Romper Stomper with not Lawrence Fishburne, with Russell Crowe, which tells the story of the explode and downfall of neo-Nazi group in blue-collar suburban Melbourne. So, yeah, it was actually released in Australia in 1992, but didn't really come to the U.S. until 1993. Not a bad Australian film. I mean, Russell Crowe, of course, that was actually the time where like Russell Crowe was trying to find his breakout footsteps and everything. I think he did not really have much of a breakout role until like Mystery Alaska, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Romper Stomper is a really decent film, if you guys haven't seen that. But that's pretty much it there. Let me leave you guys. Which of these films stand out to you the most? To me, the 10-Year one God, I'm tempted to say This Is the End because that is maybe my favorite film of that list. But the one that says that should be the most is Man of Steel. It's just really it's a terrific film and everything. All right, the 20 years one, definitely not Dumb and Dumber when Harry met Sally. When Harry met where Harry met Lloyd, or Hollywood Homicide. It's going to be Rugrats Go Wild. It's not a great film, but it's the better film on that list. And the 30-year one, come on, it's Jurassic Park. What's Love Got to Do with it? Is a good film, but it doesn't beat the terrific that Jurassic Park was. Anyway, drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Simon Sign.